Hello and welcome to Justin Dwyer Artistry. Today is the third Friday of the month, and that means it's AAA, Art Addict Alliance time. I'm running late. So let's get cracking. We have two themes this month. One of them is art materials under $10 and the other one is historical period. I'm starting off with this Spyrex sketchbook, which has cost $3.15. I actually got this one for nothing, but that's what it would cost if you bought it as cheaply as you can. Next, I'm using a Cretacolor charcoal pencil. This is a soft pencil and it cost me $3 to buy. Then finally, I have a standard kneadable eraser which cost me $3.50. If I can manage to figure these sums out, that'll bring me to a grand total of $9.65, which is less than $10. Cheaper than a drive-through meal at McDonald's. I decided I would touch on the second part of the prompt as well, which included historical era. The scene that I've chosen to do a drawing from is a photo I took while I was in a museum recently of a pit horse in a working mine in Australia many years ago. Pit horses were often referred to as pit ponies, although they weren't necessarily ponies and could be made up of any breed of horse, often made up out of draft horses or shire horses. These were unpaid workers who were used to cart loads up and down out of mines. This is a practice that went on in Australia from the beginnings of European settlement right through until the year 1980 when the final pit horses were retired. During the industrial age, machinery started taking the place of human effort and sweat, and as a result, the need for raw materials such as coal and iron skyrocketed. Steam-powered ships and trains were an absolute game changer, and also large steam-powered factory, farm machinery and other implements that could do the work of many men with a single implement with one operator. And that meant that all of these resources had to be dug out of the heart of the earth and dragged up to the surface somehow to be used. A horse, of course, could carry the load many men would be needed to carry, and a horse only required feeding and didn't have to be paid. According to Wikipedia, the first ponies used underground were in England in the 1750s. This was the result of an Act of Parliament banning women and children from being allowed to work in coal pits following accidental drowning deaths of 26 children. Which side of a horse has more hair? The outside, of course. The paper I'm drawing on today doesn't have very much tooth, so I'm not going to be able to put a lot of detail into this drawing or build up very many layers. It also won't respond very well to erasing, so we won't be able to cut in a lot of detail, so that's not going to be my intention for today's drawing. In keeping with the theme of historical, I'm looking at an old photo that I've taken a photo of. I have a bit of glare on it and a bit of background. There's not too much detail that I can really see very closely or clearly. I want to replicate that feeling in my drawing. I want to put enough detail so that you can recognise what you're looking at, but I don't want to try to get a highly polished or finished drawing. I want this to have a historical feel to the finish of it, just like an old photo. Why did the horse cross the road? Because somebody on the other side shouted, "Hey!" The pit ponies were fed a diet of chopped hay and corn, and often would be fed underground as well as the miners having their lunch. Sometimes the pit ponies would become ill. When they became ill, they would often develop a bad breath. This bad breath could be so bad in the confined spaces of the mines that the miners were unable to eat their lunch because of the terrible smell. Sometimes this was so bad that the miners would actually go on strike and refuse to return to work until the sick horse was removed and treated. Where do sick horses go? They go to the hospital, of course. Please check the description box below. You will find the links of the other members of the Art Addicts Alliance there. Click on their links, watch their videos. You won't regret it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and bye-bye.